Hello, David Singley here. I'm going to today show you a little tutorial on how to play the guitar part for Love Will Take Its Time, my duet with the marvelous Mary Jane Ulm. The song's in the key of G, and it really just involves the 1, 4, and 5 chords in G. G, C, I often play it with a high G on top. And then the 5 chord sometimes is expressed as just a major triad, D, and sometimes expressed as the dominant 7th chord, D7. The song is a verse-chorus form. I'll show you first of all the guitar part on the verses. I'll play it first of all just sort of at tempo and then slow it down and talk about it. It goes like this. The chorus. All right, so the right hand is a basic Travis picking technique. The thumb is always playing, let's call them quarter notes, downbeats, usually alternating between the root and the 5th of the chord. In the case of this D7, it's alternating between the open D and the A at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So the whole time I'm playing that D7 chord, that's what's happening in the thumb. The thing that I think is important to note there is that's your downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other thing I'm using in my right hand is my index finger, and those are the only 2 digits that I'm using. I'm doing everything with these 2 fingers, the thumb and the forefinger. So since the thumb is always going to be the downbeat, that means that the forefinger will always be upbeats. It'll always be the and of, or the 2nd, 8th note of whatever beat it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So the sort of the lower part of the part is just simply this. And then the upper part, one. Neither part by themselves sounds like much, but when you put it together, and I'll go very slowly here, it's like this. All right, and now once I'll kind of get in here and get a tighter shot on my left hand. So you see it's pretty much just that standard D7, that little hammer on there from the open G to the A, sticking the D, the root, on the 2nd string there just for a second. Back to the C, making it D7 sus4 just for a second with that high G on the top string. And then back to D7 with the F sharp on top. Now here's a close-up of the right hand. Sometimes when I'm working on a new pattern with my right hand, and I don't have the ability to have my guitar, on my hands on my guitar, I'll just put my right hand on my knee or on my leg and just practice, you know, what is boom, 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 just so I can get that rhythm going back and forth between my thumb and my forefinger. Now, the other thing you'll notice in the verse, I think it's in, if you think of the verse as being 4 4-bar phrases, third phrase, I believe, there's a little wrinkle that I throw into that part, and I'll show it to you here. It's taking the D7 chord and going up to a high, stretching up to a high A, just for once. So here's the basic part. And here's this part I'll slow down. Okay, so again, very slowly, just that part. Starting with the D7 sus with a G on top. An A octave, back to the F sharp, and the low D. So the right hand part does not change. It's the same pattern, picking pattern. It's really only the left hand, and you have to, at least my hands aren't big enough to hold that D7 chord and stretch up to the A. If you've got really big hands or really long fingers, more power to you. But I have to actually release that D7 chord just for a second to be able to reach this high A. Then on the next downbeat, I would play that middle A with my thumb, because it's on a downbeat. And then the next upbeat will be a F sharp on the 2nd fret with my forefinger. Little trick there. It took me a while to get that going and to be able to do it successfully. Now the chorus is G, C, D. The D is expressed as an actual D major triad, not a D7 on the chorus. Picking pattern, again, is pretty much the same thing. The thumb is going to be going back and forth between the root and the 5th of the G, the low G on the 3rd fret of the bottom string, and then the open D on the 4th string. On the C chords, let me think about this for a second. Yeah, it's going to be going back and forth between the low C on the 5th string and the E at the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Those are the 2 strings that the thumb will be playing on the C chords. And then on the D chords, it's just a stock D chord. The thumb is going back and forth between the root and the 5th, the D and the A. The forefinger is basically playing the melody. So right together, because it's right on the downbeat, the low G, the B, the 2nd string open. Again, there's together, the low C, the high E, because the melody is occurring right on the downbeat. And then there's a real, a little line cliche off the D chord with the sus4 hammering or pulling off, to the F sharp, the 3rd of the chord. I mean, that's a move that's in dozens, if not hundreds, of songs. Very worthwhile getting that into your repertoire. Then back to the G again. C is different this time because the melody is different. I gotta get the G on the offbeat there, and I have to have the C this time. Da, da, da. And then in the middle of the chorus, that 2nd D chord is different. It's a D over an F sharp bass. So you see the F sharp there. second fret on the bottom string, and then D, A, D. And I play it just that way throughout that entire 2 bars. The thumb is going back and forth between the low F sharp and the open D. The forefinger is just playing the D and the A on the second and third strings. And then the chorus, like the last, what you would expect as being the last couple of bars of the chorus, don't really happen. It just goes right back into the verse. So that end of the chorus, love will take its, back to the D7 and right to a verse. So that's all there is to it. There's just the 2 parts to the tune, the verse and the chorus. Probably the trickiest part is that getting up to that high A on the verse. As I said, it took me a while to get that myself. I just find, up until a couple of years ago, my right hand technique was horrible. I still, sort of consider myself sort of an intermediate level finger style picker, but I've just taught myself, and I find that keeping it really simple. A lot of players make a lot of music with just these 2 digits, the thumb and the forefinger. You can start to introduce the other 2 fingers, the middle finger and the ring finger, as you go along to get more complicated, or for your upbeat strokes to be more chordal. So like, say, 2 or 3 notes at a time. Right, same chord progression, but each upbeat stroke is 2 or 3 strings so that I can get more of the sound of the chord. Anyway, I hope that helps, and if you enjoy the song, this might allow you to play along with it. As is always the case on YouTube, if you like what you see on this channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get a notification every time a new video is uploaded, blah, 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 blah. You know the routine. And thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for enjoying my music. That's really what it's out there for, is for me to reach out to you and for us to be connected through the wonderful thing that is music. So this is David Singley. I am, by the way, in my hotel room today. Today is Wednesday. What is today? April 19th, 2023. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on tour, just hanging out in Santa Fe for a couple of days between shows. And I thought, I got a little time. I'll upload a video for the guitar part for Love Will Take Its Time. So that's it for today. Have fun making the music, and we'll see you later.